Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025 action. We've got the final stretch of matches for this quarterfinals stage, followed by the semifinals map pool showcase. But for now, we're going to be going down to the losers bracket for Venezuela versus Germany, number 12 versus number 13 seeds. A very close-looking match on the surface. I am one of your commentators, Toad Daddy, joined here by Sparky. How's it going?
It's going absolutely fantastic, and it's like, hey, didn't Germany just play like a couple hours ago? Yes,
They sure did.
Yes, they did. I mean, to do the double inside of, 3 hours? The turnaround time is crazy for them. Venezuela having the benefit of having played yesterday, literally during the Saturday block of matches, having a full day to basically recoup and recover here. So it'll be interesting to see how this one goes down. It can't get any closer than this weekend. 12 versus 13, fighting for their right to be in the semifinals weekend.
Yeah, and rolls already coming out. Looks like Germany win the roll, and LN1 getting protected out by Germany. Hybrid 3 getting protected out by Venezuela. We saw Hybrid 3 being the protect for Venezuela in their previous match as well. So I think that's just a comfort pick for them at that point, even though I was a little confused when they first protected it earlier in the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they definitely really put up a good team score on that pick, so no discomfort with the increased physicality. We always like to give it that little moniker of like mini tiebreaker in terms of the difficulty spike and the added length of that chart. Definitely seemed to be up to the task for that. Germany, no real surprise. I believe they also protected LN1 in their previous match. I mean, it was recent memory, so wouldn't be surprised if they decided to keep that around here just to ensure that coordination LN really something that they can take advantage of in this match potentially.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see what the bans come out as. LN4 coming out as a ban from Venezuela, probably just a response from to LN1 getting protected out by Germany. It's the next logical pick when you're against a long note centric team and they decide to go with one of the two higher coordination picks. So makes sense to see that coming out of them. Germany, see the Hybrid 3 protect from Venezuela, but I almost expect a Rice, yeah. And Rice 4 gets banned out by Germany. Venezuela, having played that in their previous match, and getting a very good team score.
Yeah, for sure. So with that out of the way, we get Germany up to pick first. Wouldn't be surprised if we just started meandering around in this LN pool. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw the immediate LN1 coming out here, but wanting to keep it in reserve, also a very valid strategy. Probably wouldn't willingly want to go into the Rice picks. Hybrids up for consideration as well, but with Venezuela's propensity to want to throw those as little curveballs, maybe wanting to stay away from it here are the Germans as they deliberate on what that first pick is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But I have to see what kind of path they want to take. I don't know if going with one of the more straightforward picks is really the best idea. I would imagine that Rice 1 or Rice 5 would be maybe the more desirable picks, but whoa.
I mean...
Oh, it's Germany's pick.
It's Germany's pick.
I keep blanking out.
Getting the cobwebs out here.
I've commentated too much this weekend. It's too much.
It's all blending together. We're harkening back to our match. We literally were on the cast for the Venezuela match.
So it's like happening too much.
But listen, it's after so long, it's just a blur at this point. But Germany going to go for the LN3 pick here. Makes sense in the grand scheme of things. You want to keep that LN1 in the back pocket. LN2 maybe offering a bit of an olive branch to Venezuela. A little bit too much for their comfort. Want to explore the overall comfort levels as we see Sukiya Whiskers and Blacku stepping in for Germany. Sir Ale and A-Dog going to be stepping up to bat for Venezuela here.
Here we go, LN3 to start off the match. Germany's first pick, accuracy already looking pretty good for the German side. Both players holding high 99s right now. Both of the Venezuelans dropping to the low 99 range, but no combo breaks. Okay, never mind.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
It always happens. It just does. I'm not allowed to speak. Double miss from Germany, one traded back by A-Dog, so certainly the last full combo remaining. And another miss from A-Dog is going to give that lead very squarely back into Germany's side.
For sure. Very clean drops overall from the Germans here, despite losing both their full combos. Now comfortably back over that 400 combo cap. A-Dog trading some of them back, but not having the accuracy to really contest to make up some of the ground given over to Germany for the moment. As we transition on into the back half of the chart here, 10,000 points to the good are the Germans. Sir Ailey doing everything in their power to try and keep this lead in check. Don't want to let it spiral too far out of control. The only one for the Venezuelans holding on to the 99%, but Blacku finding the break, transitioning back into this dense LN section. Gonna keep the lead still in that ballpark of like 10 to 15,000 points, but so far Germany able to mitigate those potential score losses due to that accuracy.
Yeah, and Blackie with another very clean miss there, definitely helping Germany maintain that lead, and it looks like it's maybe even getting bigger, but Blackie with another break shrinks that lead down to 10,000. That was not as clean, and another miss is going to shrink that lead as we go into the final few patterns of the map. 7,000 points of lead right now, and a miss from Sukiya Whiskers, and that's going to bring it extremely close, but A-Dog trades it back. And certainly trying to help swing this lead back, but Blackie above 400 combo again, and is trying to maintain this very small lead going into the last patterns. And it looks like Germany, with about 6,000 points, just squeaks that one away. But that was very close at the end there.
Hanging on by a thread. They needed all 11,000 points of that lead at all times. Really resting on their laurels there, getting away with some of those misses there at the very end by virtue of having that high accuracy in reserve. Sukiya MVPing the lobby needed all 975,000 points of that score to ensure that Venezuela didn't get a shock breakpoint to open this match up. And Venezuela wasting 0 time going immediately into Hybrid 3.
Yeah, getting that protect out right away. And I mean, I mentioned that this was protected both times by Venezuela. Seems to be a bit of a comfort pick. And, you know, they saw they were very close on that LN3 pick. Potentially just want to make sure that they lock in a point here and keep Germany thinking about it. Because you don't want to give up a breakpoint right after what could have been a breakpoint for your team in this scenario.
For sure. So hopefully we don't have a repeat of Germany's last time trying to play this chart. Knock on wood. And we have a good, clean performance. No shenanigans happening here. It's going to be the same 4 players coming up to play for this one. Venezuela's first pick in this match. Trying to maintain parity. Germany looking to try and get the first breakpoint in this match very early on, with A-Dog finding the miss on the mini-jack pattern, transitioning back into the LN anchors. Going to give them a small buffer to work with very early on here.
Yeah, small buffer, but this section not too difficult to recover that combo and accuracy. Wasn't the cleanest, but A-Dog building that accuracy back up well above the 99% again. And that means everyone in the lobby now at full combo, full accuracy. So just gonna even out at about 2,500 points of lead for Germany. And as the patterns start to get a little bit more difficult, we see double miss from Germany at the exact same time. Sir Ailey, the last full combo remaining, and A-Dog did a great job recovering that combo, is back to almost 1,000 here as we see another miss from Sukiya Whiskers and Blackie. So another double miss there from Germany is going to give Venezuela a solid lead. Looks like it's going to get to about 7,000 before evening out, but that's not taking into account another miss in this coordination section by Blacku. But A-Dog does trade one of those back as we get into this not completely straightforward transition pattern, and then into the real meat of the chart. And that's 3 misses in the transition.
And the only one left standing, Sir Ale, the MVP of Venezuela's performance against Macau, still holding on to the mantle here as A-Dog and Sukiya trade misses. Blacku falls as well. Another three-way wipe going into this section. And it's going to help Venezuela establish a bit more of a foothold. But A-Dog finding another drop, traded back this time around by Blacku. No harm, no foul at the end of the day. Still 10,000 points in favor of the Venezuelans going into the second third of the chart. There's still so much to play for, so much chart for these players to mess up on. It is going to come down to the wire, it feels like, at this point.
Yeah, these dense long notes catching Blacku off guard a little bit. A-Dog finding a few misses themselves, but with both of the German players here having a little bit of struggle with the consistency, going to give Venezuela a lead. Sir Ale finally finding a drop on those shields, but did more than enough to give Venezuela a 17,000 point lead halfway through this map. We've got another transition section to get through here. We saw Germany struggle, and we see them struggle again with some of these transition coordination patterns with a double miss. Both Venezuelans holding under the combo, but Sir Ale finding a drop there as both of the Germans get up to 400 and now going to be able to dig into that lead. But a miss from Blacku traded by A-Dog. The only combo left, Sukiya Whiskers, as the map picks up yet again.
It feels like during these denser sections, there's just tiny little blips here and there. Blacku, Sukiya, A-Dog, all being the ones to find these almost synchronized misses at times where they're just following one right after the other. Blacku, the next one to find a number of misses, traded back once by A-Dog here, but with a quarter of the map still left to go. Sir Ale re-establishing their foothold in this chart. Still not the highest accuracy in the lobby by any stretch of the imagination, but doing more than enough to ensure that this 30,000 point lead that Venezuela has built up throughout the entirety of this chart stays relatively intact as they do finally fall. A-Dog picks up the mantle from there. Sukiya falls one more time. And without any supporting score from the Germans, there's really not much chance for them to make some inroads here. That being said, there's still an eighth of the chart left to go. Anything can still happen.
Yeah, we do see the ending coming up. Blacku was holding onto the combo to try and combat A-Dog's massive 1200 combo there, but getting a little bit lost, finding a chain of misses there. A-Dog finally missing at the end of that section in the top row now. Sir Ale and Sukiya holding the mantle, but with a 36,000 point lead for Venezuela and the last few patterns coming up here. Venezuela looking good to take their first point in the match as well in convincing fashion on their protect. So going to open this match up 1-1. Both teams looking good on their own picks.
Yeah, very well played by all players involved. A very hard chart. By all definitions, handled beautifully at the end of the day. As Venezuela, as you mentioned, I mean, 2 for 2 on their protect this weekend. Very comfortable on this style of chart. And bodes pretty well for them if they're going to try and maybe pull one over in terms of physicality on Germany. But with Germany up to pick next, I imagine we're going to venture back into the LNs, and it's going to be LN2 this time around. So keeping the LN1 protect in the back pocket for now. Going to go into a bit of density instead.
Yeah, so Germany still staying a little bit away from that protect, wanting to get the potentially more risky LN picks, and they were able to take LN3, but just barely. That consistency almost bit them right at the end, missing or finding a lot of drops right at the end and nearly giving that point away. But this one should be a little more straightforward, should be a little bit on the able to be played more consistently side. But that also means that Venezuela team with potentially more propensity for the right side of the pool will maybe feel a little bit more comfortable on something like this. So Germany's going to have to bring their A game here to beat Venezuela on this pick.
Absolutely. So we'll just have to wait to see how things go. Banjo getting everything synced up here for us as we get this map underway. A very intense start to the chart. You really have to hit the ground running here as Venezuela finds a synchronized miss to start things off as Germany crosses that 400 combo threshold to start getting full credit for their judgments and riding it off to a 16,000 point lead within the first 1,000 notes or first 1,000 combo of this chart.
Yeah, a huge lead growing now. Both players able to get up to 1,000 combo just out of the beginning. We saw a number of breaks from Venezuela in the intro. Sir Ale now above 400 and Blacku gives a little bit of an inroad, finds a miss there, but Sarele does trade it back right there. And the real story right now is just the difference in accuracy. But Blacku not able to find too good a footing, finding a chain of misses there, but starts to recover and maintains the lead at about 20,000 points just because of the accuracy lead. But Blacku continuing to find some issues. Sarele missing once, but that's going to favor Venezuela in that case just because of how many misses are coming out from Blacku, and this lead is shrinking. A-Dog finally finding a miss, and Sukiya Whiskers, the only player able to stay consistent in this section. Blacku finding a number of misses, both Venezuelans having found some as well, but looks like the combo from Sukiya Whiskers is actually able to hold on to that lead for Germany as we get out of that first chorus.
Yeah, the fact that they're standing tall, close to that 99.7 mark, able to stave off any potential advances from the Venezuelans as they build up combo to try and combat against Blacku for the moment. The fact that they're both sitting in that 98% range means that every miss from Blacku doesn't count for as much score loss as we continue on. It does make a bit of a difference, but the fact that they're trading some of these back is stemming any potential comeback potential as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart. A-Dog and Blacku going at it once again, trying to rebuild once again, but Germany has been riding off on the back of Sukiya Whiskers. 28,000 points to the good. Still, I believe the only FC in this lobby as it stands towards this outro.
Yeah, last few patterns and Sukiya Whiskers putting Germany on their back to take this point convincingly. Looks like just about 30,000 points in Germany going to take a solid second point. No break points so far. These two teams looking very good, very comfortable on their own picks to start off this match.
Absolutely, and that is a disgusting score from Sukiya to be able to pull that on command.
Epic sight read. What? You sight read an FC on this? I guess it's not crazy, but because this is, I mean, as the most straightforward of the long up picks in the pool, but still, that's a very impressive score to get on sight read.
Absolutely. I mean, what's the old saying? You can't mind block something if you don't know it.
That's true. That's true.
No bad habits can be developed.
I do know that there are players in like standard that will do stuff like that in certain cases. I think that was more of an old style strategy for standard tournaments, but neither here nor there. We're going to be getting into Rise 3. An interesting choice from Venezuela. Did we see them play this in their previous match?
No, we had 1, 3, and 5 left open in the Rice pool when they played against Macau. They did 2 and 6. 4 got banned out. I feel like this is a little too safe. If I'm allowed to say that.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Don't worry. I was trying to think of, do they see scores from Germany or from themselves that makes it feel more confident? I don't know if this would have been my first choice going into the Rice pool. I would have probably stuck with like Rice 5, where, seeing that Rice 4 ban from Germany, I would imagine that more of the technical complex stuff is a little bit on the uncomfortable side. But I mean, Venezuela, we expected to kind of see Rice as one of their main fortes throughout this match. Maybe this is just a comfort pick similar to how Hybrid 3 has been very comfortable for them. We do see a swapped in Shizdi coming in for Venezuela there. Makes sense. That's kind of been how it's going. Shizdi has been coming in alongside Sarele for the Rice picks pretty much all tournament for Venezuela.
Yeah, it's probably one of those where it's like, okay, this is something that we can comfortably get in, get out very well, not have to expend too much or tip our hand too much. But I mean, it remains to be seen. I think there are definitely worse picks in this pool that they could have gone for. This is basically just one of those, like, based on that Hybrid 3 protect and everything that they've been showing in terms of like, okay, we're gonna physically dominate our opponents. This is not that. Like, this is something that Germany can potentially contest on. So it'll be very interesting to see.
But hey, maybe they know something that we don't. We have been seeing a lot of teams kind of hit their limit on core injects with this map in particular. 120 BPM, not the fastest in the world, but the pattern structure of this is quite complicated for as far as like core jag patterns go. You got some of those long jags, and the high density can definitely be a little bit on the difficult side to maintain your composure for. But out the gate, the lighter stuff coming through, and a small lead for Venezuela as Blackwood finds an early combo break and gives Venezuela about 7,000 points of buffer, with Blackwood now building up the combo again.
Yeah, I think the one saving grace for the Germans at the moment is the fact that this map is clocking in at around 3 minutes. Sir Ale does trade back that miss, and after the 400 combo cap, going to do a tiny bit more damage, going to shrink this lead ever so slightly, but off the back of Shizdi holding on to that 99.9% accuracy, it's basically role reversal. Sukiya kind of putting Germany in the backpack for the previous pick. Shizdi now picking up the mantle for Venezuela as we continue on here. That being said, the lead is shrinking. Blackwood recovering very nicely. Sir Ale still needing to get back up with that 400 combo cap to try and contest, try to mitigate that or cancel out that accuracy on their side. We're going to see a bit of a cross map battle begin to develop as the density begins to ramp up once again here.
Yeah, and the accuracy looks to be slightly in favor of Venezuela. You have Sir Ale beating out Blackwood, and Shizdi's accuracy better than Sukiya's, but we do see a traded miss there. Shizdi with a second miss as well. Blackwood with just one, and this lead is going to start going in Germany's favor unless the accuracy is good enough, which it might just be, with Blackwood finding another miss for Venezuela to hold on to it for now. We only have one full combo, and it's on Sukiya, who is doing their best to keep this close and within striking distance, but about a 4,000 point lead as the buildup happens, and Sukiya finally finding that break going into the final quarter. So it'll go back to about a 7,000 point lead, but it's still within striking distance if Venezuela cannot hold the consistency. This ending is extremely hard, densest, most difficult part of the map coming up, and we've seen some lack of consistency from both sides. I think whoever hits this ending, oh, huge miss from Shizdi. That was a lot of accuracy breaks, and that's a traded miss for Blackwood right at the end as well. Few patterns left.
Is there enough time?
Like Venezuela should hold on to this.
Oh, there goes Sukiya!
Break, and Sir Ale, the consistency, no!
Everybody finding the drops at the end. Okay. These were too close for comfort.
That looked like LN3 right there, where Germany sort of started falling apart at the end and nearly gave that up, but Venezuela survives. Still no breakpoints in this match. Brings it to 2-2. Effectively a best of 7 now with the remaining pool. And Germany still has their protect available, could go for that long note 1 pick to just kind of get themselves back in the mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Still have some avenues to approach here, and that was, I mean, that turned out to be a very risky pick at the end of the day. Transitioning into that outro as messily as they did, it could have turned on a head instantly. Being able to hang on, similar to how, like you mentioned, Germany needing all 11,000 points of that cushion, Venezuela needing all 7,000 points of that cushion to ride out the storm at the end. But now with Germany up to pick, Protect still in the back pocket, LN1 on the cards, and sure enough, gonna opt to go for it here, round out the LN pool, and exhaust all potential picks in that category.
Yeah, clearing out the long notes, going for that Protect. Both Protects now off the table, but Germany looking to continue the no breakpoints allowed pattern of this match so far. Inverse coming in, we saw Germany do quite well on the density, maybe a little bit close for comfort on that wild card, but this is one of the maps that both Venezuela and Germany did play in their previous matches, and Germany has had quite an advantage against Venezuela's team score. But it's a new day, it's a new match, anything can still happen, especially on a map that has as potentially large of a variance as something as, LN1 with the coordination difficulty throughout it.
Yeah, for sure. My eyes are going to be peeled for when this transitions into essentially a 7-column wall of just staircase starts and stops. That will be like the pinnacle section. See if anybody can hang on through that cleanly, because I can envision some massive swings during that section in particular. But we see A-Dog check back in understandable, has been the strat, as we alluded to earlier, with Shizzy coming in for the Rice, A-Dog going to be backing up Sir Ale on the LN hybrids. And we're going to get on into it here, see how this Protect for Germany goes.
Absolutely. Getting into it, starting it off. Not too long either. So the shorter of the two coordination maps coming up here. Gonna just be a battle of who can perform in the moment. We've been seeing some players having some issues on these early patterns here. Maybe not the easiest to transition into just a direct start into that inverse, but no one having too big of issues so far. Just an accuracy game right now, which Germany is taking quite an advantage off of, with a miss from Sir Ale, traded by Skia, and A-Dog being a little low on the accuracy, but now the only full combo in the lobby with a miss from two misses from Blacku, but there's the miss from A-Dog, and this lead, not very large, but continuing to find breaks, is the Venezuelan side as Skia finds some footing and gets above the 400 combo. Blacku right behind them, and now a 20,000 point lead very early on in this map.
Yeah, this is to be expected with how comfortable Germany can look on these LN picks when things go their way. It's no surprise that they're starting to stretch out this advantage to Kia, essentially able to act their way through some of the hardest parts of this chart. Sure, picks up the slider breaks here and there to maybe add a little bit of spice to the match, but able to keep them relatively clean as we see a full combo reset for the side of Germany, but it only puts a tiny dent in that lead so far. That being said, Blacku finding another one here, gonna shrink it back down to entering close to that 4-digit range, but able to stretch it back out to 13,000 points. No trades back from the side of Venezuela gives them some opportunities to maybe start making some inroads in this lead, but not having the accuracy to try and contest against their German counterparts is going to make it tough sledding as A-Dog and Sukiya find another trade going into the last quarter of the chart.
And getting into the first major section of this map.
Here we go.
And we're seeing misses from literally everyone. No one able to stay consistent, but that's going to favor Germany with the lead at the moment as Sir Ale continues to find multiple drops. Trade between A-Dog and Blacku, and now everyone again dropping, but Germany looks very clean with their drops. 44,000 points of lead is what it has extended to. And it looks like Germany should be able to quite cleanly take this point and continue the trend of no breakpoints allowed.
Yeah, just very strong on their preferred skill sets as Germany makes it 3 for 3 on the LNs. Able to keep everything flowing as it should, quote unquote, giving Venezuela an opportunity to equalize once again here. And I mean, now with the LN picks exhausted in the pool, Germany now going to be posed the question of what do you want to pivot towards? Do you go for Hybrid 2, Hybrid 1, or do you try and take your chances on the more, dare I say, straightforward Rice picks in this pool, Rice 1, Rice 2, potentially, but those are questions for later on down the line. Venezuela going to go for Rice 5, something that we were expecting more than the Rice 3 pick from earlier.
Yes, I think this is a much more fair pick for Venezuela. Gets into the sort of complex zones of this Rice pool and makes sure that they're not giving Germany something that they can just, almost autopilot to a certain extent, or something that Germany really has an opportunity to kind of stay consistent on, or more consistent like Rice 3 was. So makes sense for them to move into this side of the pool, especially with that Rice 4 ban from Germany. So this is about as close as you're going to get to that type of pick. But it's all about that performance. We saw Rice 3 come down to the wire, only about 6,000 points of difference. And I could see something similar here, but it really just depends on how the more technical patterns are going to be handled by this German squad, I think.
Absolutely. It's definitely... questions are going to start being asked. I think we're finally at the roll up the sleeves, kind of get down to business portion of the match, where they've kind of handshook the picks that we were expecting these teams to go down, and now that we're starting to exhaust some of those comfort picks, some of those understandable picks from our perspective, now we start to see the venturing into the unknown a little bit. Can Germany answer the question being posed by Venezuela here on Rice 5, or can Venezuela just assert what we imagine they're going to be able to do in terms of this overall Rice physicality that we've been touting them as.
You'll have to see. Early accuracy wouldn't show that so far. These bursts catching Shizdi off guard a little bit with the accuracy, giving Germany a slight lead out of the gate as all the players start to build up to that 400 combo. Now we are there. Misses are in full effect. And that accuracy maintaining a lead for Germany right now. 6,000 as Shizdi finds an early combo break as well. Germany coming out of the gate on this Rice pick, swinging, and already 12,000 points, but Skia is going to trade that miss from Shizdi earlier. Just one full combo on each side, and Blacku is going to follow that up with a miss. Sir Ale has been the consistency master for Venezuela so far and is showing that title again, but finds a miss is going to allow Germany to maintain a very small lead going into the second third.
Oh, this is way too close for comfort if you are Venezuela. Giving Germany the early advantage, not having the accuracy to contest in certain facets, going to open an opportunity for Germany to potentially usurp this pick from them, something that we were expecting Venezuela to show out on, starting to come back to bite them as we approach the back half of the chart. Tukia finding their trade of misses as we establish this bit of a core jack section. The staircase transitions as well, catching out Shizdi once again. 15,000 points still in favor of the Germans. No trades back once everybody kind of settles into this section, but transitioning on out of it, a chance for the players to catch their breath. The Blacku
No!
on
a tragic miss right as they transition into a slower section, going to give Venezuela a great opportunity to start building up a little bit of combo and shrinking that lead. Blacku's still trying to get up to 400, and that lead about 11,000 points as everyone is there now, and the accuracy still looks like it's in favor of Germany, though it is not as black and white as it was at the beginning. Sir Ale is going to find another miss and give Germany some breathing room here. With the final section of this map left to go, more straightforward patterns to boot, just some chord streams and some jacks in the middle of it, but that looks like about 13,000 points is going to stay, unless we see a double miss there. But that is not going to do enough, and it looks like we might see our first breakpoint of the match going the way of Germany on Rice 5.
Oh, what a performance from Germany. Able to pull it out of the bag there. Able to withstand the challenge of, can you withstand this from us? And the answer to that is yes. And if you're Germany, that opens up some potential avenues of approach now. If you can maintain this level of consistency on these Rice picks, then maybe you found the answer to where to go after exhausting all three of those LN picks.
Yeah, I mean, we have history of both these players playing Hybrid 2 in the previous match, and Venezuela actually had an advantage similar to what we saw on that Hybrid 3 pick. So even those hybrids are probably not the safest picks for Germany in this case. Seeing a good win on something like Rice 5 there could potentially push Germany into going for a Rice 1 or a Rice 6 here.
Yeah, the outside consideration, maybe Hybrid 1 if you don't want to commit too fully. Can definitely respect the idea of, okay, we'll make Venezuela pick the Rice picks, and we'll just try our best to break them on them. So definitely some mind games being played here. Definitely need to consider what the next best option is as we make our way here, because the last thing you want to do is just immediately give that breakpoint right back over. It's gonna be Hybrid 2.
Oh no, I mentioned this. Venezuela had an advantage on this the last time these two teams played this earlier this weekend. It's gonna be a bit of a risk here. I mean, I know it's probably also pretty big of a risk to go with one of the Rice selections, but at this point, this feels like it's more of a comfort choice from Germany than it is a reaction to anything going on in the match.
Yeah, I think they're just sticking to their guns, sticking to what they know, what they're comfortable with, what their composition is built for. These more LN-oriented charts is where they've been finding their success. But this one, we saw the performance from Venezuela on this pick. This is probably describable as straightforward in terms of what the hybrids have to offer, at least in comparison to something like Hybrid 3, where that's just like off the walls. Dialed to 11
all,
the
yeah,
entire
all
time.
over the place. Yeah, I think this is certainly more straightforward. I think Hybrid 1 and 2 are usually going to be more on the straightforward side. The thing that's difficult about this is that some of those coordination long note patterns throughout this are so tough to get consistent on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Germany's kind of banking on a pick like this, just being able to catch some slider breaks, some pure misses from the Venezuelans to really build an advantage. So we'll have to see how it goes here. Venezuelan giving up that break point, the first one to blink in this match, but going into Hybrid 2 where, as you mentioned, having the team score advantage from the earlier match in comparison to Germany, who played just a couple of hours ago now, could potentially give that right back if Germany isn't too careful. Gonna need to really hyper focus on getting a improving score over Venezuela here.
Yeah, we see an early accuracy lead. Blacku a little bit behind A-Dog there, Sir Ale and Skia. Basically at the same accuracy, but an early drop from Sir Ale. Not the cleanest either. Dropped about 0.2%. Traded very quickly back by Blacku twice there as well. And Venezuela gonna sweep up that lead right as fast as they lost it.
Yeah, now we're seeing a bit of a trend begin to develop. The balanced accuracies from Venezuela to the discrepancy between the Germans. Sukiya about 1% ahead of Blacku at the moment. Not going to be able to land as much supporting score as they find yet another slider break going into this anchored LN section. 10,000 points now for the Venezuelans as we approach this back half.
And we continue to find some breaks from Blacku. Skia doing what they can, holding the full combo, but alongside A-Dog matching the full combo and Blacku's consistent misses. That lead is now jumped up to 20,000. We finally see a break from A-Dog. One full combo remaining, and a second break from Venezuela as well is going to give Germany an opportunity to kind of start digging into that lead. We see one of those misses traded back by Blacku, but it's already down to about 13,000. We only have a quarter of this map left, but in this low section, Blacku finds another break. Sir Ale matches it though, and this lead is not going to look like 14,000 for too much longer. We got a little bit of a difficult rice section. Skia holding onto the full combo, but breaks it in this rice section, and Venezuela doing what they can to hold on, building up the combos back up to 400, but A-Dog finds a break. And so does Sir Ale, and they start dropping. The long notes start getting a little bit more difficult in this end, and it's only at 8,000. Blacku does find a break though, and we're coming into the last few patterns of this map, and 11,000 points might be all it takes, and we might just see back-to-back break points. Venezuela now with an opportunity to even up the scores on their own pick again.
I'm not gonna lie, Toph, I did not breathe the entire second half of that chart.
I was so scared. That lead got down to 6,000 points.
I did not want to say anything, did not want to curse anybody, but oh my god, what a response from Venezuela here. Able to take that breakpoint right back. Germany going for the Hybrid 2, trying to get something out of it, but not able to successfully. And now Venezuela, an opportunity presenting itself to equalize in this match, an opportunity to make it 4-4 going into these last couple of picks. What do they go for? Rice 1!
Why are we doing this? I'm not sure I agree with this.
Okay, what we saw Rice 3 was what? 8,000 points of favor of Venezuela. We were thinking Rice 5 and they lost that pick.
That is true. We've been wrong about the Rice so far.
Yes, we are consistently wrong about this. Venezuela, let them cook. They know something we don't. So Rice 1, one of the shortest maps in this pool. It is going to be wild swings if we see trades back and forth on this pick.
Yeah, and I mean, that is kind of probably the reason we haven't been seeing this map too much. And I've commentated, I think, 4 or 5 matches so far, and I have not seen this picked a single time in those commentary booths. So, a risky pick for sure. Going to be a matter of holding your composure through some of the more difficult and fast rice speed patterns, especially with that OD8. That is going to make it very difficult to get good accuracy on something like this.
Absolutely. So, getting down to the wire here, Venezuela looking to try and equalize in this match. 2 breakpoints going both ways as it stands after, 6 maps in a row where they were just winning their own points.
Yeah, started off with 5 own points. 5 own points in a row, and now 2 break points in a row. And Venezuela trying to get it back on the own points train, trying to even it up. Germany trying to continue the breakpoint train, make it 3 in a row and get themselves to a match point. But this is a tough one to do it on. I could imagine a lot of combo breaks coming up, especially once those streams start to get faster. This intro, not too difficult. It stays pretty slow for a while on this. So you mentioned one of the shortest maps in the pool, but this intro being as long as it is only serves to add to that. It feels even shorter than it actually is because now everyone's above 400 combo and we still haven't even gotten to any of the very fast, difficult patterns.
Yeah, absolutely. It's scary saying that we haven't gotten into the difficult patterns. As Sir LA finds the first break for the side of Venezuela. Germany ahead at the moment. Things looking good for them. As Shizzy finds the drop as well. Nothing traded back from the side of Germany as we get into these very aggressive staircase rolls across all 7 columns. And Germany keeping it clean. Both FCs still on the board. Both players well and truly above their Venezuelan counterparts in terms of accuracy as well. Going to stretch this advantage to the tune of 25,000 points. A third of the map left to go. And I mean, they've been more than capable of holding their own on these rice picks so far as it stands.
Yeah, I mean, a double full combo coming out from them right now. Blackview just around the same accuracy as the Venezuelans, but Skia Whiskers having been carrying Germany through this entire match, holding on to an extremely high accuracy. We do see a miss from Blackview, and that's going to shrink the lead a little bit. But there's not really enough time for anything to happen unless major drops happen from Germany, and we're going to see a full combo from Skia Whiskers with incredible accuracy to get another breakpoint. 200s on that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see why teams were avoiding that pick. That is such a volatile performance there. Kind of seeing the breadth of score lines that we could see on a pick like that, where somebody just has the clean run of a lifetime and then just the singular drops chunking away over 20,000 points in comparison. And Germany on the cusp of punching their ticket into the semifinals, match point situation, and on their pick.
Now, what's available? We've got Rice 2, Rice 6, and Hybrid 1. Those are the only things available to pick, and I don't think any of them are good picks. Certainly not Hybrid 1.
My brain says Rice 6. My heart says Hybrid 1. But they're both probably wrong.
My brain also says Rice 6. And now that we say that, Rice 2 is going to get picked. That's how this works.
No, it's going to be even worse. They're going to go for Hybrid 1.
Because that's actually true.
It's one of those, like, it's so hard to call. I would not want to be in their position right now. It's like you've won 2 of the 3 Rice picks so far, broken them, and nearly gotten that third one. This match will be over if Germany had kept Rice 3 just that tiny bit cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in Germany's shoes, I have to go with Rice. They've been much closer than the hybrids have been. Mm-hmm. Granted, Hybrid 1, not as difficult as the other 2 hybrids, I don't think. It's a little longer.
Maybe Rice 6.
Rice 6. Okay,
we got one.
They're not throwing it. They're not throwing it in our face. We got one right. I can't believe it. I'm not used to being right.
1 for 1,000. Hey, what's that saying? A broken clock's right twice a day.
That's so true. But it always feels like I'm not the broken clock in this scenario.
No, it's usually me. I don't know anything about pick strategy. I just throw out what it's vibes.
Vibes, that's true.
At the end of the day.
When it comes to these Mania World Cup matches, going with picks, especially this late in the match, does kind of come down to vibes. Because like you have your strategies at the starts of matches, where it's like, oh, Germany is definitely going to feel stronger on the long notes. Venezuela has shown being very strong on some of those Rice picks, and especially those hybrid picks. So they have that strategy, and then as things start to break down, as you get 3 break points in a row, those strategies start to kind of get thrown out the window, and you got to just feel it out a little bit. And this pick in particular is a perfect representation of how that's happened through this match. I don't think Germany was expecting to pick Rice at all in this match. And now that they've won 2 out of 3, the vibes are kind of pointing them in that direction, and they have a chance to win the match on a Rice pick here.
Absolutely. How the turntables, Germany on Match point, Venezuela, not out of it just yet. They definitely have it within themselves to contest on these rice picks, but so far, I mean, Germany's just been that half step ahead. And as we get into this chart, a bit of a rough start from Shizdi, able to maintain as Blacku actually going to be the first one to find a drop going into the real denser portions, of this chart. Finally got it out there. Blacku finding a second one as well, going to give Venezuela a bit of a cushion, and not the start we were hoping for going into this pick after touting it so highly for Germany.
Yeah, we do see, another miss from Blacku. I was going to say that the accuracy is actually kind of even across the board. Not that they're the same, but that they even out or average out to be about the same, but it's just off the misses from Blacku. 12,000 points with, despite Skia Whiskers at a extremely high 99.8% accuracy, but the combo consistency from Venezuela here showing up for this map in particular, both holding on to the full combos, Skia matching it, but Blacku having already had 5 or 6 misses gives Venezuela the opportunity to kind of hold on to this lead, even if they start to find some breaks, but we're only halfway through. We've been seeing Venezuela starting off maps quite well, and then the endings start to catch them off guard, especially in a map like this where it does get a little bit more difficult towards the end. 22,000 points of lead, but we've seen that kind of thing evaporate into thin air off of some chain misses. And going into the ending, we'll have to see if Venezuela holds onto that lead.
22,000 points did good. Blacku starting to make the recovery run, able to lend some support. But as I say that, the transition into this next core stream section going to be there undoing the lead reestablished for Venezuela. And so far, double FC, they really need to pull this out. They had no more opportunities, no more room for error. And as this map begins to come to an end, what a way to put a statement. We are not going down quietly without a fight on these rice picks. They managed to get this breakpoint away from Germany, stave off elimination, make it 4-5 with an opportunity to take this to tiebreaker.
Yeah, it's on their own pick, a double full combo right when they needed it. They have an option between 2 picks, Hybrid 1 or Rice 2. Now Rice is 2 for 2 or 2 out of 4 for both teams. Hybrids have been both going in favor of Venezuela. I don't think I have an idea of which one they're going to go with. If I was in Venezuela's shoes, probably I would go with Hybrid 1, but I think they're both such high risks, you almost have to go with whichever one Venezuela feels most comfortable with.
Absolutely. There's no time for second guessing. There is no more room for error. Either this goes to tiebreaker or Germany advances to the semifinals. This is the most important pick in this match. And we have seen all sorts of things. It's going to be Rice 2 for Venezuela. Not going to go for the hybrids that they've had so much success on so far this weekend. They're going to bank it all on Rice.
Yeah, sticking with their strategy here. Went for their only hybrid protect of Hybrid 3, and then the other 4 picks have been all Rice for Venezuela, and has been a bit of a back and forth for them, but they won the core stream pick, or the speedier core stream pick, very well. So maybe they're thinking that this is similar enough that they could squeak out a win, despite this being a little slower, more on the accuracy focused side. But Germany needs to pull it up. They need that consistency with their combo to come back for this. Skia Whiskers having been doing very well overall. Just gotta hope that Black is able to hold their composure if you are a fan of Germany here. But Venezuela trying to force that tiebreaker, and I don't know if I'm gonna breathe even once during this bout.
Yeah, this is going to have some heart and mouth moments. Also, can we just mention that was a Black Flag almost V1 double S performance from Sukiya on the previous pick, and that's just the way it goes. Sometimes those backpack performances just don't pay off at the end. But I mean, had to highlight it. That was a ridiculous score from them. But that was then. This is now. Rice 2 on the cards. Blacku hopping out. Looks like they're checking something, just making sure maybe if they play with mirror, or if they play on a different, they can't get back into, they might need to get forcefully added back in. That's
I've
interesting.
never seen that one.
Maybe if they closed their client and reopened it.
Not sure.
Anyways, they're back.
They are back.
Heart attack. They had to get manually reinvited. That's interesting. Anyways, gonna get on into it. Hopefully they have everything sorted out as the players ready up on the final pick in regulation. Oh boy. Everybody strap in. It's gonna be a wild one. 2.5 minutes of court stream at 178 BPM, elevated OD. Mistakes going to be flying left and right. These players fighting with everything in their power to prove that they belong in next weekend's matches.
Yeah, and extremely important to note, if Venezuela takes this and brings it to tiebreaker, they won Hybrid 3 quite convincingly. And that's going to be the closest map there is to tiebreaker for this round. Maybe not quite the same pattern structures, but I would almost give the edge to Venezuela if they're able to hold on through this map. Accuracy lead actually in favor of Venezuela for now. Hasn't been the case for most of these maps, though. It's very close. Sirele and Skia basically at the same thing, though Sirele does drop a little bit of accuracy while Skia holds on to it, and Shizdi and Blacku matching each other.
Yeah, this is going to come down to who blinks first, who finds that critical drop. We're approaching the range where it's going to be a multi-thousand point swing if somebody were to find a miss. As we transition on into the second third of the chart, the lead shrinks, a couple of accuracy drops coming out from Blacku, but holding on to the combo, we start to see this little spread that we've seen from Germany where their accuracies are a little bit far apart, but Sirele going to be the first one to find the drop, and the lead skyrockets to the German side, 5,700 points to the good as we take a tiny bit of break in the action before it builds right back up into the second half. It's still all to play for. Venezuela not out of it just yet, but Sirele needs to make that recovery. Blacku finds the drop in response. The lead shrinks to 3,000 points. It is now a cross-map battle.
Blacku finds another break.
Blacku finds another one, and the lead goes back on over to Venezuela with a third of the map left to go here.
This density was not treating Blacku very well. They were starting to fall behind, finding those two breaks. 5,000 points of lead for Venezuela as Sirele was able to hold their own ground. Lead staying about the same now that Blacku's above 400 combo. Though the accuracy from Blacku, that stamina, but Sirele and Shizdi both find a break! And that lead is shrinking, going in favor of Germany. We still have one section left at the end of this map, and it's still so close. It's just going to be about 3,000 points going into the semi battle, but Shizdi finds another break as Skia Whiskers puts Germany on their back with the full combo. Blacku holds on to some combo to back them up at 1,200, and now that leads about 8,000 points going into the last few patterns of the map. And Germany, on the back of that absolute insane consistency from Skia Whiskers, is going to hold on and avoid a tiebreaker situation with Venezuela.
Oh, what a performance from Germany on those last two picks. Unrewarded in the previous one. The fruits of their labor paying off. Able to win Rise 2 at the critical moment, able to stave off that tiebreaker, like you mentioned, going to knock Venezuela out of the 7-Key World Cup in the quarterfinals and punch their ticket into the semifinals match.
What a match. 5 own points followed by 5 break points. That is the most balanced match I've ever seen in my life. But what a performance. Germany locking up a spot in top 12 in losers side semifinals. Commiserations to Venezuela. What a performance they put on. That match, like, I mean, I know it looked close, 4-6, but I think it was even closer than it looked, which is crazy to say.
Oh, absolutely. The margin for error between these two teams. And what better way to exemplify a 12 versus 13 matchup than literal points being decided by less than, what, 6,000 points at times? That's literally nothing in the grand scheme of things in this tournament. But with that being said, we can all take a collective deep breath.
Just exhale a little bit.
Just exhale. I am literally shaking I was fully expecting Venezuela to pull that one out, but what a way to end that match. Germany, congratulations. You are moving on to the semifinals, but we are not done just yet. In just an hour, literally just over an hour, we got a double header for you guys here. We got France taking on Canada and Peru taking on Spain, going on at the same time. And there's going to be a bonus match because
Yes,
whoever
there
wins
is.
the match between France and Canada immediately thereafter is going to play Chile to punch their ticket into the semifinals. So still plenty more matches to come, plenty more action awaits us. But Toph, I've got an hour on my hands. I've got nothing to do for right now. Can you give me an idea of something I can do to bide my time while I wait for this doubleheader to appear?
I absolutely can. I mean, an hour is a lot of time, and why not spend some of that time hitting up the Osu store to support the tournament with a banner, or maybe multiple banners. We've got banners for every one of the 32 teams that made it into the bracket stage for the Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025. For a low price of $2.50 USD, you can get a banner to support your favorite team in the tournament, even if they've already been eliminated, just to show your support there. And on top of that, you can even buy multiple banners and they will all show up on your profile. So if you really want to, buy all 32 banners for all 32 teams and just show off all of those banners on your profile.
Oh, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna spend all that hour that I have of free time to decide which teams I want to support, but at the end of the day, we all know buying all 32 is probably the best course of action, because I want my banner to stay that little bit longer. I don't care who wins at the end of the day, I just want to show my support to all the teams, and y'all should too. So, with that being said, we're gonna take a break for right now. We'll catch you guys in about an hour, and until then, we'll catch y'all later.